My boyfriend mocked my cheap lifestyle on Instagram Live, telling his followers I couldn't afford the things his ex-girlfriend bought him. I commented, "Funny considering I've been covering your rent for 6 months." Then I canceled the payments. 2 days later, he went live again, this time crying, when he suddenly realized whose name his next bill was issued under. "I'm Laura. I'm 34, and I'd been with my boyfriend for about 8 months. We met through a mutual friend at a barbecue last summer, hit it off pretty quickly. He's big into social media, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff, has around 15,000 followers, does these lifestyle posts about fashion, brunch spots, that whole influencer thing. I'm not really into that scene, but whatever, it made him happy. About 3 months into dating, he mentioned he was struggling with rent. His apartment was in a trendy neighborhood, way out of his actual budget, but he said he needed to live there for his brand. I didn't really get it, but he seemed stressed, so I offered to help out. I started covering his rent. Figured it was temporary until he landed some sponsorships or whatever he was working toward. 6 months. I paid his rent for 6 months. Never asked him to pay me back. Never threw it in his face. Never made a big deal about it. Just handled it quietly because that's what you do when you care about someone, right? Wrong. Last Tuesday, I was scrolling through Instagram during my lunch break when I saw he was live. I clicked on it, figured I'd say hi in the comments. He was sitting in his apartment, the apartment I was paying for, doing some kind of Q&A with his followers. Someone asked, "What's your girlfriend like?" He laughed, and not in a good way. "She's sweet, but honestly, she's got this cheap lifestyle that's kind of embarrassing sometimes. Like my ex used to take me to nice restaurants, bought me designer stuff, really knew how to treat a guy. Laura, we go to diners, and she thinks that's romantic." I sat there staring at my phone. About 200 people were watching this live. Another comment popped up. "Why are you with her then?" He shrugged. "I don't know. I guess I'm just figuring things out. She's nice, but I'm used to a certain standard, you know? Like I shouldn't have to lower my expectations just because someone's not financially where they need to be." My chest felt tight. I watched for another minute as he kept going, talking about how he missed the finer things his ex-girlfriend used to provide, how he was settling in some ways, how his followers deserved to know the real tea about his life. I typed out a comment. "Funny considering I've been covering your rent for 6 months. Hit send." I watched his face change in real time. He glanced at his phone, read the comment, and went completely pale. His eyes went wide. His mouth dropped open. The comment section exploded. People asking if it was true, others laughing, some defending him. The live ended about 10 seconds later. My phone started blowing up immediately. Texts, calls, all from him. I ignored them, went back to work, finished my day, drove home. Each notification that came through just pissed me off more. Not once did he think about how his words would make me feel, but now that he was exposed, suddenly it was urgent. That evening, he showed up at my place around 8. I'd been expecting it. I opened the door and let him in. He was wearing the designer jacket I'd bought him for his birthday. Another thing he conveniently forgot to mention when he was talking about his ex's gifts. "What the hell was that?" he said immediately. Not even a hello. "What was what?" "You commented that on my live in front of all my followers. You trashed me on your live in front of all your followers." "I wasn't trashing you. You called my lifestyle cheap, said you were settling, said your ex treated you better. What would you call that?" He crossed his arms, that defensive posture he always took when he knew he was wrong. "I was just being honest. My followers appreciate authenticity. That's literally my brand. So do I. That's why I was being authentic about the fact that I've been paying your rent since March. That was private. And your feelings about me being cheap were public. Make that make sense." He started crying. The manipulative kind, not the real kind. I'd seen this move before. "You're trying to embarrass me," he said. "You know how important my following is. This is literally my income, my career. You just damaged my reputation. Your following just watched you disrespect me for 5 minutes straight. I think you embarrassed yourself." I didn't mean it like that. I was just venting. Sometimes influencers have to create drama. It's part of engagement strategy. "Cool," I said. "Well, I'm venting too, and I'm done paying your rent." His tears stopped immediately, like someone flipped a switch. "What?" "You heard me. I'm canceling the payment. You can figure it out on your own." "You can't do that. Rent's due in 2 days. Watch me." "You should have thought about that before you went online and told everyone I'm not good enough for you." "I never said that." "You absolutely did. You said you're settling, that I don't meet your standards, that your ex was better. That's pretty damn clear." He stood there for a second. Then his face changed, got hard. You know what? Fine, I'll figure it out. I don't need your charity anyway. Clearly not, since you were just telling everyone how cheap I am. He grabbed his bag. You're an asshole and you're ungrateful. Guess we're even. He left, slammed my door so hard a picture frame fell off the wall and shattered. I didn't even care. I just swept up the glass and poured myself a drink. I pulled up my banking app and canceled the automatic transfer I'd set up for his rent. It was scheduled to go through Friday morning. Not my problem anymore. That was $1,200 a month. I'd been spending $7,200 total over 6 months, and this was the thanks I got. The next day, Wednesday, my phone was still blowing up. His friends were texting me, DMing me on every platform, calling me petty, saying I was trying to ruin his life over one mistake. I blocked most of them. Didn't need the drama. These were the same people who'd probably watched that live and laughed along with him. He posted an Instagram story around noon, just text on a black background. Some people will help you just so they can hold it over your head later. Be careful who you trust. Not everyone who seems generous actually cares about you. I screenshotted it, laughed, then deleted Instagram from my phone. Didn't need to see whatever else he was posting. My buddy called me that afternoon. Laura, you're trending on Twitter. What? Someone screen recorded his live and your comment. It's got like 50,000 retweets. Everyone's either calling you a legend or saying you're petty. I don't care either way. Fair enough. For what it's worth, most people are on your side. They're saying he had it coming. That actually made me feel a bit better. Thursday morning, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I answered it anyway. Figured it might be work-related. Hello? Hey, is this Laura? A man's voice. Mid-30s maybe, casual tone. Yeah, who's this? I'm his ex, the one he keeps comparing you to. Oh, this was going to be good. What do you want? I asked. I saw what went down on his live, she said. Just wanted to give you a heads up. He did the same thing to me. What do you mean? The designer stuff, the nice restaurants, all that crap he talks about. That was all exaggerated, mostly made up. I sat down on the edge of my couch. I bought him one nice jacket for his birthday and maybe took him to a decent place a couple of times. That's it. He's been inflating that story for over a year, making it seem like I spoiled him nonstop. I didn't. I couldn't afford to. Then why'd you break up? Because he kept pressuring me to spend more money than I had. Trips, luxury hotels, brunch every weekend, all for content. When I told him I couldn't keep up, he started pulling away, making comments about how I wasn't ambitious enough, how I didn't have the right mindset. She laughed, but there was no humor in it. He's got this fantasy version of our relationship, he tells people. Meanwhile, he still owes me $2,000 he borrowed and never paid back. Said it was for a business investment that never happened. Seriously? Dead serious. So when I saw your comment about paying his rent, I figured you should know what you're dealing with. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. He's all about appearances, she continued. Nothing he posts online is real. It's all smoke and mirrors for likes and followers. Yeah, I said quietly. That tracks. Honestly, I'm just glad someone finally called him out publicly. He needs a reality check. I appreciate you telling me, I said. For real. No problem, and just a heads up. He's probably not done trying to contact you. She hung up. I sat there for a long time after that, just processing. So not only had he been disrespecting me, but the entire comparison was based on lies. His ex wasn't some high-roller woman showering him with luxury. She was just another regular person he'd used and then rewritten the story about. Friday afternoon, my buddy texted me. He's live again. He sent me screen recordings since I'd deleted the app. My boyfriend was crying, full-on sobbing into the camera. Mascara streaked down his face, eyes red and puffy. He'd positioned himself in the corner of his apartment with soft lighting. Even in crisis, he was staging the shot. I don't know what I'm going to do, he said between sobs. My girlfriend just cut me off completely, out of nowhere. I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. I might have to move back in with my parents. This is so humiliating. I thought she loved me, but she just abandoned me when I needed her most. The comments were mixed. Some people were sympathetic, sending heart emojis. Others were calling him out, saying he'd brought it on himself, that he shouldn't have disrespected me publicly if he wanted help. Then someone commented, "Wait, whose name is the lease under?" I watched as he wiped his eyes, sniffled, and said, "It's under..." He stopped. He pulled up his lease on his phone to check. No idea why he felt the need to do that on camera. And then it hit him. The lease was in my name. His face went from sad to panicked in about 2 seconds. See, when he'd moved into that apartment 10 months ago, 2 months before we even met, he couldn't get approved on his own. Bad credit from unpaid cards and a previous eviction he'd never told me about. Early in our relationship, he'd begged me to co-sign. He said it was just a formality, that he was making all the payments anyway, so my name didn't matter. I'd stupidly agreed because he seemed desperate and I was trying to be supportive. On the live, he went silent, just stared at his phone, reading the lease document. I've got to go, he said finally, voice shaking. The live ended abruptly. My phone rang about 2 minutes later. His name lit up the screen. I let it go to voicemail. I listened later. Oh my God, please call me back. We need to talk about the lease. Please, this is serious. He called 6 more times in the next hour. Then the text started. We need to talk now. Please pick up. I didn't realize the lease was in your name. You can't kick me out. That's illegal. I know my rights. Please respond. This isn't funny anymore. I texted back after about an hour. I'm not kicking you out. I'm just not paying the rent anymore. You figure it out. That's the same thing, he replied instantly. If you don't pay, I get evicted. No, it's not, I typed. You're an adult. Adults pay their own bills. I can't afford this place on my own. You know that. You should have thought about that before you went on Instagram and called me cheap to 15,000 people. I said I was sorry. No, you didn't. You posted a vague story about people holding things over your head. That's not an apology. That's you playing victim. There was a pause. Then, what do you want from me? You want a public apology? I don't want anything from you. I just want you to handle your own life. I can't believe you're being this cruel. I can't believe you thought you could trash me online and face zero consequences. Life doesn't work that way. Saturday morning, I woke up to a dozen missed calls from him and about 30 text messages. I also had a voicemail from the apartment complex manager asking about next month's rent. I called the manager back around 9. Hey, yeah, I need to get my name off that lease. Is the other tenant staying? That's up to him, but I won't be financially responsible anymore. Understood. We'll need both signatures to modify the lease. If he can't qualify on his own, he'll need another co-signer, or he'll have to vacate by the end of next month. Perfect. Send me whatever paperwork I need to sign. Will do. Just so you know, if this isn't handled properly, it could affect both of your credit scores. I'll take my chances. I hung up and texted him the manager's number. You need to figure out your living situation ASAP. I'm off the lease, effective immediately. Manager's info above. He called instantly. I answered this time. You're really doing this, he said. His voice was hoarse. You really went on Instagram and trashed me to thousands of people, I said. So yeah, I'm really doing this. I said I was sorry. No, you didn't. Fine, he said. I'm sorry. I really am. I shouldn't have said those things. I was showing off for my followers and I took it too far. You did. So can we fix this? Can you just pay this month and we'll talk? We can work it out. No, please, I don't have anywhere else to go. You said your parents are an option. I'm not moving back in with my parents. I'm almost 30. That would destroy my image. Then figure something else out. How can you be so cold after everything we've been through? How could you be so disrespectful? Silence. I thought you loved me, he said finally, his voice small. I did, I said, past tense. You made it very clear how you actually feel about me. He started crying again, but this time it didn't move me at all. Goodbye, I said and hung up. I blocked his number. Then I blocked him on every social media platform I could think of. It's been 6 weeks since everything went down. Life's honestly pretty great now. That extra $1,200 a month has been going straight into savings. I've already got almost $8,000 stacked up. I'm thinking about taking a trip to Japan in the spring, something I've always wanted to do, but couldn't justify when I was covering someone else's lifestyle. I started seeing someone new about 3 weeks ago, met him at a coffee shop. Totally random. He's a teacher, pays his own rent, doesn't even have Instagram. We went on our 3rd date last night. Grabbed burgers at this hole-in-the-wall place I like, then walked around downtown talking for 2 hours. He said it was the best date he'd been on in years. Didn't cost me more than $40 total. Imagine that. My ex tried to reach out multiple times over the past month and a half, created 3 different burner Instagram accounts my friends told me about. I never responded, just kept blocking. He sent me an email last week, a long one, 3 paragraphs about how he's grown, learned, realized how good he had it. Said he's in therapy now, working on his materialism issues, asked if we could meet up for coffee and talk. I didn't respond, just moved it to trash. From what I've heard through the grapevine, he ended up having to break his lease and move in with one of his influencer friends. Apparently she has a 2nd bedroom she's renting out cheap. Funny how fast independent turns into crashing on someone's couch. His Instagram content has changed completely. He's in a very obviously different apartment now, trying to pass it off as a minimalist phase. His follower count dropped from around 15,000 to about 8,000. Turns out people don't stick around when the fake luxury lifestyle disappears. He's been posting a lot of self-love journey content, talking about toxic relationships, about learning to value himself, about healing. The comments are mixed. Some people support him, others call him out for rewriting history. Someone even commented on one of his posts, "Isn't this the guy whose girlfriend was paying his rent and he called her cheap?" He deleted the comment, but not before it got screenshotted and shared. His ex, the one who called me, reached out again last week, said he tried to hit her up for money too, spun some story about a family emergency. She told him no, sent him screenshots of our previous conversation. He blocked her immediately. I ran into one of his friends at the gym a few days ago. She actually apologized to me, said she hadn't known the full story when she texted me calling me petty and immature. She said my ex had been telling everyone I'd abandoned him out of nowhere, no warning. Conveniently left out the part where he trashed me on a live stream in front of hundreds of people. He's been playing the victim really hard, she said, while we were both on treadmills. But some of us looked into it, saw what actually happened. That was really messed up what he did. Yeah, I said, it was. For what it's worth, she added, you dodged a bullet. She was right. He's always been like this, apparently. Even before social media, uses people. Takes what he can get, throws them away when they're no longer useful or when someone better comes along. He did it to his ex before me. He did it to me. He'll do it to the next woman. Wish I'd known that 8 months earlier. Would have saved me some money. Live and learn. At least I got out before I married him or had kids or something. As for me, I'm doing better than all right. It's weird not having that monthly expense anymore. Not walking on eggshells, wondering if something I say or do is going to end up on social media. The guy I'm seeing now thinks the whole story is insane. He couldn't believe someone would blast their relationship drama online like that. That's so trashy, he said when I told him about it on our second date. Whatever happened to privacy? I don't know, but I'm glad to be done with it. Someone asked me last week if I felt bad about how everything went down. If I thought maybe I'd been too harsh. Honestly, no, not even a little bit. I gave him 6 months of financial support. Asked for nothing in return except basic respect, and he couldn't even give me that. He used me, mocked me publicly, then acted shocked when I stopped letting him use me. My friend said I should write a book about it, said it's like a cautionary tale about social media relationships. You could make money off this story, he joked. I laughed. Nah, I'm good. I just want to move on. But the truth is, I won't forget it. Not because I'm hung up on him, not because I'm bitter about the money, but because it taught me something important. Some people see your kindness as weakness. They see your generosity as something they're entitled to. And the moment you stop giving, they show you exactly who they really are. When they do that, you have to believe them. I'm 34, single, but dating someone grounded, financially stable, and drama-free. I'm done letting people take advantage of me. It took 8 months and $7,200 in rent payments to learn that lesson. But I've got it now. My rule is simple. If someone can't respect you when you're helping them, they don't deserve your help. Period. The apartment my ex was living in got a new tenant last week. I know because the landlord sent me a final statement closing out the lease. My name is officially off it now. My credit's fine. That chapter is closed. Last night, the guy I'm seeing asked me what I wanted to do for our 1-month anniversary next week. I suggested that diner I like, the one my ex had mocked on his live. Sounds perfect, he said, squeezing my hand. I love a good diner. So do I.